Now at 5 on RTV6, federal investigators are now zeroing in on a local school district. The reason why: they want to know whether sexual harassment complaints were taken seriously.
Slow down and move over. It's not just the law to protect police and emergency responders, but tow truck drivers too. I'm Stephanie Wade with their urgent message tonight.
Big temperature swings are on the way, as well as some rain and snow.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. Now at 5, the federal government is now investigating whether Northwest Hendricks schools properly handled sexual harassment reports.
The district has faced criticism in recent months for allowing a teacher and coach to stay on staff despite sexual misconduct allegations. Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny has been following this issue from the start and joins us now with what this federal probe could mean.
Mark and Amanda, we've been talking to parents for months who say Northwest Hendricks is not taking sexual harassment seriously. At least one of those parents took concerns to the Federal Office for Civil Rights. They launched a Title IX investigation on December 4th. The complaint alleges Northwest Hendricks failed to properly respond to sexual harassment reports involving female students and then retaliated against people who reported those allegations. Title IX is a federal law that bans discrimination in education based on sex. The U.S. Department of Education will now gather evidence and interview parents and Northwest Hendricks School Corporation leaders. School districts that are found in violation of Title IX can risk losing federal funding and in some cases have to make improvements to better address sexual misconduct allegations. Northwest Hendricks has faced criticism for keeping coach and teacher Tyler Bruce on its payroll despite sexual misconduct allegations involving a student. Bruce has denied those allegations. Now, the school board meets tonight at 6:30 p.m. at Tri-West Middle School. This federal investigation is not on the agenda. However, they will discuss a policy that limits what parents can say about the school on social media. The ACLU has called this policy a violation of the First Amendment. Tonight, the school board will discuss removing that language, and Call 6 Investigates will continue to dig deeper on this issue. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Kara, thank you for the update on that. An urgent plea for drivers tonight as police, paramedics, and tow truck operators are losing their lives at a record pace this year. Every year, people are killed responding to emergencies on the side of the road. Indiana's move-over laws are in place to protect workers on our roadways. RTV6's Stephanie Wade speaks with crews tonight, urging drivers to pay attention.
Tow truck drivers say people often slow down and move over for police or emergency responders on the side of the road, but not for tow trucks. And they're losing people every year because of it.
The CDC lists the towing operators as one of the deadliest positions you can have. It's tough for kids nowadays want to be able to come and apply. You know, most 22, 23-year-olds don't want to be out here doing what we do on the side of the road.
It's one of the most dangerous jobs in America. The statistics: one tow truck driver is killed every 6 days in our country. Matthew Bartlett with Interstate Delaware and South Towing says people don't always associate their crews with the slow down move over law that requires drivers to change lanes when crews are on the shoulder or slow down 10 miles per hour if that's not possible. And today, we saw drivers disregard them time and time again.
If we're up against the wall, because that's where the accident happened, my operator's got to choose running it from the side that traffic may hit him. But if he's on the other side running it and a car hits the side of the truck, it's going to crush him into the wall.
The law goes for police, ambulance, fire, highway maintenance, utility service vehicles, garbage trucks, and tow trucks. All people who put themselves in harm's way every day. If a driver damages emergency equipment, they'll be fined or have their license suspended. Causing injury or death can lead to prison time. Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
You might also see these Who's Your Helper vehicles out on the interstates. NDOT's program, sponsored by State Farm, assists stranded motorists, helps with traffic control or medical assistance at crash sites. If you ever need help, you can call customer service. That number is 855-NDOT for you or 855-463-6848.
And you just saw in Stephanie's video, it was a gloomy day, especially this morning into this afternoon, but we got some late day sunshine for people on their way home.
Ta-da. Just like
Surprise.
just like yesterday, late day sunshine. We'll take it when we can get it because clouds are back tomorrow. So enjoy what should be a good-looking sunset. 42 in Lafayette, temperature 46 in Indianapolis. There's the clearing sky. The wind is light, and with the clear sky, I do think that sets up potential for some light fog to develop later tonight. We'll keep our eye on that into the morning hours tomorrow. The winds will be 5 miles per hour or so. What happens this evening? Temperatures will be slow to change as skies clear. We're eventually headed into the 20s, though, overnight. The wind remains light. During the day tomorrow, temperatures move from the 30s in the morning to 51 in the afternoon. Our rain chances are there, but just a 30% chance we'll see any showers. It would be light rain, nothing of real consequence. But enjoy these temperatures because after tomorrow, we go on quite a roller coaster ride with the temperatures and also our precipitation. Notice I didn't just say rain. We'll talk about what precipitation encompasses coming up.
Tonight, Metro Police are asking for your help in tracking down 3 people who went to a lot of trouble to steal money from an ATM. This happened early in the morning on New Year's Eve at the Regions Bank at 7916 Madison Avenue. Police shared these surveillance pictures. They said the 3 suspects used a stolen truck and a chain to forcibly separate the door from the ATM. They got away with an undetermined amount of cash. The truck was later discovered in a nearby apartment complex. If you have any information, contact Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
Another new travel option is coming for Hoosiers who want to take an East Coast trip. American Airlines announced today a new nonstop from Indianapolis to Boston that will begin in May. The new flight will depart twice daily, Sunday through Friday and once on Saturdays. Flights will begin May 7th. You can start purchasing tickets this weekend.
A huge step forward today for women in the WNBA. The league and its players union reached a tentative labor deal that will mean the average annual player salary will top 6 figures for the first time. It's already been approved by the players. Once ratified by the owners, it means members of the Indiana Fever and other players around the league will earn an average of $130,000 a year, 53% increase. It also guarantees full salaries while on maternity leave. It also provides more stability for the league as the deal will provide more financial incentives for players to stay in the off-season instead of playing overseas. Former Fever star and current general manager Tamika Catching stopped by our noon show to talk about this important day.
I think the biggest thing is the majority of our players right now today are overseas playing basketball. And so it's an opportunity to keep our players here, for them to play during the season, stay in the off season, doing marketing opportunities, and just be around. I mean, it's great visibility. We have been hitting the road. We've been grinding in the off season, and now we have our players to do it with.
This is an 8-year deal that will begin this season and run through 2027.
The Butler men's basketball team keeps winning, and the Bulldogs continue to climb up the national ranking as well. This week, they earned the first top 5 spot in program history. Butler's off to a 15-1 start. It's just the 4th time they've ever opened a season that well. They've also won their first 3 conference games. They'll face big East co-leader Seton Hall tomorrow night at Hinkle Fieldhouse. After practice today, the Bulldogs talked about remaining focused on just the next game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a heck of an atmosphere. Obviously you got to bring the best version of yourself to the table every night. But certainly, with the way they're playing right now, and we've got expectations of ourselves, but you have to do it. And so tomorrow will be a really good challenge. I think our guys will be up for it. I'm sure they'll be up for it too.
After Wednesday's game, Butler will play 3 of its next 4 games on the road.
More to come this hour on RTV6 on the Now Indy at 5:30. Neighbors in a central Indiana community want some changes made after they claim the curbs end up flying into their yard. We'll unravel this complicated concern.
But first, what's the most important thing when giving your child medication? An emergency room physician weighs in to help clear up something that might be confusing to parents.
And cold enough for some snow, at least for a period of time on Friday. We'll talk about the transition from snow to some rain as we head into the weekend. All those details are straight ahead.
Out of my life. Call Clear Choice today.
Tonight, we are following a developing story from Southern California. It appears a plane dumped fuel near schools while approaching Los Angeles International Airport. According to the ABC station in Los Angeles, fire crews were assessing 20 children at 2 elementary schools. Numerous children reported skin irritation and an unpleasant smell. The station reports that a Delta Airlines flight had to return to LAX shortly after takeoff and was dumping fuel on its return.
In just a couple of hours, Governor Eric Holcomb will deliver his annual State of the State address. We're not exactly sure what he'll say yet, but Holcomb is expected to continue to tout his next level agenda. This includes the state's economy and workforce, as well as improving Indiana's infrastructure. Holcomb did hint last week at a possible new idea to pay Hoosier teachers more. We'll find out his exact plans at 7 p.m. We will carry the speech live on the RTV6 app and the RTV6 Facebook page. Now to Democracy 2020 and the race for president. We're just hours away from the next Democratic debate, and the stage is set for a possibly tense evening. Only 6 candidates qualified, and top contenders Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders have a growing rift between them. ABC's Trevor Alt reports from Des Moines, Iowa.
It begins Iowa with youth.
With only weeks into the Iowa caucus opens of the 2020 presidential race to voters, tonight top contenders gathering for the latest debate in Des Moines. 6 candidates, the most compact debate yet, which could allow for the most sparring we've seen so far.
2020 is our time to make real change.
One area of tension bubbling before the debate, a rift between progressive senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. The pair duking it out over a private conversation from 2018 where Sanders allegedly told Warren a woman can't win. In a statement, Warren says of that conversation, among the topics that came up was what would happen if Democrats nominated a female candidate. I thought a woman could win. He disagreed. Senator Sanders has called the idea he'd say a woman can't win ludicrous. A campaign advisor telling CNN.
That clearly is not what he said. If the wires were crossed, I think there was a discussion about Trump, misogyny, sexism in politics, and the difficulty of running in the era of Trump for women.
The controversy coming in the midst of a bit of a surge for Sanders. A recent Des Moines Register poll showing him atop the field in Iowa, but a new Quinnipiac poll suggests the candidate to beat nationally is former Vice President Joe Biden.
People are beginning to make up their minds now, and this is a critical moment.
Tonight's tighter restrictions are also leaving some candidates on the outside looking in. Andrew Yang will be notably absent, and the lower polling candidates who did qualify, Senator Amy Klobuchar and billionaire Tom Steyer, may use the extra stage time to try to gather more momentum.
And as this debate happens, the Democratic race is still wide open. The latest polls show only 35% of Democratic voters say they've made up their mind as to who they'll vote for in the upcoming primaries. Trevor Alt, ABC News, Des Moines, Iowa.
You may have heard about the class action settlement involving infants' Tylenol. If you bought the product in the last 5 years, you could be getting some money back. The settlement is in response to a class action lawsuit where Johnson & Johnson was accused of deceptively packaging the medicine, saying it was uniquely formulated for infants when it really was the same concentration found in children's Tylenol. A Raleigh Hospital for Children doctor confirms there is no difference. He says the key when giving your child the proper dose of either medication is knowing their weight. Doses are based on how much they weigh.
I think the first thing to note is that they're exactly the same. The liquid that is in those 2 medications, you're getting the same amount of acetaminophen, that active ingredient, per ml, per milliliter, in both the infant and the child's formulation. It's the dosage, dosage, dosage. That's what matters when you give your child a medication. You don't want to give too much, you don't want to give too little.
What is different between the 2 products is that the infant formula comes with a syringe and the children's comes with a dosage cup. You can find dosage information on packaging, and your physician or pharmacist can also help you. And by the way, Johnson & Johnson denies any wrongdoing. You can file a claim until April 13th if you bought infant Tylenol between October 2014 and January 6th of this year.
Time now for your Storm Team 6 forecast, and Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joining us now with a look at ahead at winter weather that we could be seeing before the end of the week.
You know, a lot of people are waiting on some snow, right? It is January, after all. We've had just a trace this month, but we went back to November and December, and we had above average snow in both of those months. Doesn't look like a big deal, but we'll talk more about it here in a second. Temperatures, look at this. They're up tomorrow, then down, then back up, and then way down as we get to the second half of the weekend. And each one of these little transitions will represent an opportunity opportunity for some precipitation. We may have some light showers tomorrow. Let's go ahead and jump to Friday. Temperatures will be cold early in the day Friday. Temperatures will rise Friday night into Saturday morning. I think that means we'll start with some snow. This is the evening hours, 7 o'clock, but as we go through Friday night into the morning hours, warmer air is being pulled into the state and we transition to all rain. That's the way it plays out now. We could see some light accumulations before the warmer air and rain comes in and melts that off. You're looking at maybe an inch or a little more in the northern counties, and can't rule out a little light freezing rain either. So we'll just watch that. That's Friday night into Saturday morning. This is right now. Skies are clearing. Hopefully you get a good look at a nice setting sun. Temperature 43 in Greenfield, 3 degrees warmer in Zionsville. Temperature Edinburgh at 44 degrees. Above average for this time of year, but not as warm as it will be tomorrow. Wanted to give you a larger view of temperatures. You can see the cold air for now sitting in the northern plains. It's 4 below in Bismarck, North Dakota, 51 in St. Louis. We'll tap into this air for tomorrow. Our wind will be out of the southwest. Then colder air will flow into the state for a couple of days before we see that brief and more significant warm up over the weekend. Say hello to Haas.
Hey, Haas.
We got to do it quietly, though.
Oh, he's asleep.
He is sleeping, and it looks like that's his chair. It's by the window. Haas, thanks for being with us, although you won't ever remember you were on RTV6. Tammy Harris sent in the picture. Thank you. Temperatures this evening in the 30s. You can send your dog or pet's picture to me at kevin.gregory@wrtv.com. Be happy to take them for a walk during the forecast. Take an umbrella tomorrow. May not need it. The chance is just 30 to 40%. We'll see some of these light showers as we get through the late morning and early afternoon. There are the spotty showers at 10 a.m., 1 o'clock in the afternoon, a little more likely in the east. None of this will amount to much as far as rainfall amounts. Temperatures, upper 40s to low 50s, the warmest day until Friday. Temperatures as we go to Thursday fall off quite a bit. You'll need the winter coat again. We'll just climb above the freezing mark, but we're dry. Temperatures from 30 to the mid-30s, generally speaking. I want to show you this. Friday night, temperatures just below the freezing mark. That's when we have our wintry mix. Then as we go through the overnight hours, you begin to see the warmer air come in from the southwest. Saturday morning in the 40s. Temperatures peak early in the day Saturday, with temperatures generally in the middle to upper 40s. And then it all goes the other way. After rain, which may aggravate some of the flooding Saturday, we are dry and much colder Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. 3 mornings in a row with temperatures in the teens. And highs in the 20s. Coldest temperatures in a month.
Be ready for that.
Yeah.
Prepare now.
Yeah. A legendary country singer, Willie Nelson, is coming to Indiana. He'll be performing at the new Brown County Music Center in Nashville on Tuesday, April 28th. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Willie is still going strong at 86 years old. He recently performed at the CMA Awards with Casey Musgraves. The Brown County concert will be just 1 day before his 87th birthday, if you can believe that.
Wow. Well, next year on RTV6, he's Hoosier born and bred and has endured some hardships, including bullying. Now the former Bachelor is releasing a tell-all memoir, What You Didn't Know About Colton Underwood.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
Hello to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV, and we're covering 2 big trials for you today. First up, it is the 2nd day of jury selection in the state of Florida in the case of a man accused of murdering 3 of his own family members. Defendant Donald Hartung, this guy's 63 years old, is accused of 3 counts of first-degree murder for the July 2015 killings of his mother, Von Seal Smith, and his 2 half-brothers, John and Richard Smith. The 3 victims were found in Von Seal Smith's Pensacola, Florida home. All 3 had stab wounds to their necks. They were also all found underneath piles of clothing. According to the affidavit, investigators initially believed the motivation for the crimes was pagan witchcraft. But Von Seal Smith's estate attorney says that Hartung had been excluded from her will, this potentially pointing toward a potential financial gain for the crimes. Opening statements in this case could begin as early as tomorrow, and it is a death penalty case. We're also following the jury selection in the Harvey Weinstein rape trial happening in New York City. Another pool of 120 potential jurors are being questioned. Weinstein is accused of 5 different sex crimes with 2 different women. And as always, you can count on Court TV Live for gavel-to-gavel coverage of America's most compelling criminal trials. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio.
You can learn more about other cases around the nation right now at courttv.com. Well, we could be just hours away from finding out who will be crowned the greatest Jeopardy player of all time. The tournament featuring Ken Jennings, Brad Rutter, and James Holzhauer resumes tonight at 8 o'clock right here on RTV6. Right now, Ken has a 2-1 lead over James. The first player to win 3 matches will be named greatest of all time and win $1 million. See what happens tonight at 8 o'clock. If Ken doesn't win tonight, it will be on again tomorrow night.
Paging Bachelor Nation, former Bachelor Colton Underwood is penning his memoir. The book, titled The First Time, is due out March 31st. The publisher is calling it unpredictable, humorous, and inspiring as he reflects on growing up in Indiana, struggling with self-image and bullying, his 3 years in the NFL, and of course his journey to find love. Colton was the Bachelor just a year ago. He wound up sending the 2 semifinalists home and instead went after Cassie Roundoff, who initially resisted committing to him. The 2 are still together but not married or engaged. Again, his book, The First Time, comes out March 31st.
All new at 6 p.m. here on RTV6, a local community seeing major changes with its fire department. We find out why some residents are now concerned about their safety, and we work to get answers as well.
But first on the Now Indy, a generous donation that will make it possible for Indiana kids to wear their school colors with pride. You're watching RTV6. We'll be right back.